Hello everyone, and welcome to my how-to guide on the Stomping Land. This video will show you the basic mechanics of the game so far, and any tips I have come across to make your survival that much easier. Keep in mind, the current build of the game will remove all structures once you disconnect from the server. So let's get to it with what to do when spawning. You have just spawned in, and your first objective is to find both stone and wood resources. This requires a stone deposit in any tree, allowing you to craft any item or structure in the game. Begin collecting resources by left-clicking your axe on the tree, and left-click again to drop your resource on the ground. Eventually you will create a resource stack. The stack grows proportionally to the amount of resources added, and can only hold up to 20 resources. The first item you want to craft is a spear, both attack and defense. This requires 5 wood and 2 stone. By interacting with the resource stack, which is E by default, you will notice options available to you. The pool option allows resources to be moved where the player needs them. Use this function to bring your wood closer to the stone deposits, or vice versa. Finish creating the spear by collecting 2 stone and then adding them to the stack. Finally, to craft the spear, interact with the resource stack. We see here the current amount of resources in this stack, as well as available options for crafting. Choose the spear and the crafting progress bar will appear. As long as you don't right click, the spear will complete and you are ready for the next step. This process of collecting resources and crafting goes for any item or structure you wish to create. The spear is currently the most reliable weapon that both one-hits small dinosaurs as well as other players. The axe can also be used, however this requires 2 hits. Just remember, collect exactly what is needed for each item and use the resource stack only for that intended item, as stacks are completely consumed once crafted. Since the majority of players spawn on the coast, you will want to head slightly inland to find a suitable location for your campsite, which will be your new respawn location. It is best to find a spot that is in close proximity to stone and wood resources. Keep in mind the direction of the ocean from your campsite, as this helps later on with both navigating as well as a source of food when spearfishing. Having found a location, you will want to craft a teepee, which is your new spawn location. You need to collect 10 wood and 4 stone to complete the teepee structure. Here is a list of the current crafting options and their required resources. Keep in mind this guide for future crafting. Now that you have your resources, try and place your teepee in a discreet location. Dense wood and plants provide great cover for your structures, which in turn leads to lower visibility to other players. Structures will build wherever the resource stack is placed, and will face the direction of which your character is looking. Try and face your teepee towards the coast for better navigation, especially at night. This is how your teepee will look. Follow this up by building the fire pit, which requires 2 wood and 2 stone. This acts as a light source at night, as well as a place to cook meat when hungry. You may start a fire at any time, granted that it's not currently raining. Also, cooking meat will come later in this guide. Whether playing alone or with friends, building totems is a great addition to your campsite. Totems require 8 wood and 2 stone, and these structures incorporate the tribe system into the game. The system allows for the player who built the totem to be in charge of the tribe, and accept new members once a player interacts with the totem. Currently, tribe names and quotes are unable to be changed. The totem interaction provides information on who the leader is, total members, as well as some tribe statistics. After requesting to join the tribe, the leader will choose from a list of new hunters and decide on accepting you in. The main benefit of the tribe system is the addition of names above any player who is in your tribe. This comes with the ability to talk only to your tribe, rather than in global chat, which is by default T. Once in chat menu, you can check the tribe only option to switch between the two. Cages require 15 wood and have limited functionality at the moment. They can hold dinosaurs, however their main use is in player captivity. Hostages are best held in place by another player whilst you place the cage structure over them. Once you have your captive inside the cage, there is no way for them to get out unless you or someone else chooses to release them. Keep in mind, using weapons from within or outside of the cage will not harm any players on the opposite side. Other players are a large threat to your survival, so arming yourself is a great way to both attack and defend. Remember, only attack other players if they mean to harm you. Don't be a dick. Taking hits when fighting will cause your screen to shake, leaving partial redness, as well as providing an audio cue of your player grunting. Your character can survive one hit from an axe, bow, or small dinosaur, as they take 2 hits to kill. After being hit once, if you wait long enough, you will completely recover, as the screen returns to normal and you are back on 2 hit points. Having fully recovered, it takes 2 hits to kill. Once a player is down, they have a 10-second countdown in which they can be healed. After 5 seconds of being downed, a stay alive option will become available. Use this feature to reset the 10-second death timer as many times as you wish, so long as someone is able to heal you. Healing will be covered later, so for now the timer runs out and you die. Your body disappears and a kill message is shown. After this, you have the choice to respawn at a random location or at your pre-built teepee. A bow requires 5 wood and 2 stone, and you receive 10 arrows once crafted. This weapon is more effective at small dinosaur hunting than at plague killing due to latency issues within the game. Hold the left mouse button to notch an arrow and let go to release. To aim, use the arrow tip as your crosshair, and remember at range your arrows will drop. As previously stated, the spear requires 5 wood and 2 stone, and is a one-hit kill weapon. Just like with the axe, you must close the gap before attacking your opponent. The shield requires 4 wood and 1 stone. It is a great defensive item that can be used to block certain attacks as well as push players away, so long as you raise your shield with the left mouse button. As shown here, the shield blocks axe attacks and arrows, as well as knocking back any player close enough to you. However, shields can't block well-timed spear attacks, and large dinosaurs will kill you straight through them. The bolus requires 2 wood and 1 stone, and provides 3 ammunition. This weapon only affects players, and is currently the only way to incapacitate a player. Once caught, interact with the player and select the pull option to drag them around just like you would a resource stack. A tied up player can be dragged by anyone, and this can be used in conjunction with the cage as shown earlier. Whilst captured, you'll be dragged along, and you can only move around slightly when the player holding you has stopped. Once the player has dropped you, you are able to escape your bonds by remaining still and letting the progress bar complete. If interrupted, the process restarts. If at any time you need to replenish your ammo for the bow or the bolus, you will require 2 wood for each. As shown here, arrows resupply the bow, and rope resupplies the bolus. Finally, the last item that you can build is a torch. The torch requires 2 wood to be crafted, and can only currently be used as a light source. You know how to build everything in the game, now you must survive. Players are a threat, however, dinosaurs are a greater threat, and they roam everywhere. Note the visibility of the eye on your screen. Different stances and movement speeds will affect your visibility to dinosaurs. The slower you are moving, the more transparent the eye becomes. Remember, the brighter the eye, the more likely you will die. Keep this in mind when hunting or evading dinosaurs, as some will run away on sight and others will charge. You will also notice the meat symbol. This represents your hunger. There are 4 stages, represented by changes in transparency of the symbol. No symbol means no hunger. Light grey means slight hunger, darker grey means you are hungry, and finally a red symbol means you are starving. If you do not eat before or during this final stage, you will die. To regain hunger levels, you require food cooked on your fire pit. The fire pit must be unlit to add meat to it. At any given time, the maximum amount of food on a fire can only be 5. Light the fire to commence cooking, and wait until the meat is a darker red before you eat. 1 large meat will replenish you entirely, whereas 1 small meat will only replenish 1 level of hunger. Fishing requires a spear and a deep enough water source to submerge yourself in. After entering the water, allow yourself to drift and use nothing other than your mouse movement to locate a fish. The progress bar represents how long you can stay underwater. Left click to spear a fish only once it's in range. Once you have a fish, or are close to running out of breath, resurface. Fish will be on your spear if you successfully caught it, and they yield one small meat. Each time you start a new life, you'll begin to accumulate expertise. You can check your current expertise by pressing Q as default. Expertise is experience that can be used to tame dinosaurs and provide you with a mount. For each dinosaur, a required amount of expertise is needed to heal them, along with one healing herb. There are 3 ways to gain expertise. They are: passively earn 1 point every 30 seconds you are alive, kill another player and earn 20% of the dead hunter's experience, and finally by exploring caves and finding the shrines within, which provide 20 expertise. Caves also provide healing herbs, which are used to heal other players during their death timer, as well as healing dead dinosaurs to be used as mounts. You can only pick 1 herb at a time, which provides 2 uses, and shrines reactivate every 10 minutes. Cave locations will be shown later. Hunting dinosaurs can be done in many different ways. However, only smaller dinosaurs can be directly harmed by you. Remember, most dinosaurs will fight back. Here is a list of the current dinosaurs in the game. This shows the name of the dinosaur, the expertise required to heal and mount it, as well as the type and amount of meat they yield when harvested. All dinosaurs and players require 1 use of the healing herb to revive them fully. The 2 smaller dinosaurs can be hunted by players. They are the Gallimimus, who is completely passive and runs from any sign of danger, and the Stygimoloch, the more aggressive and dangerous of the 2. Both of these dinosaurs provide 2 small meat. The bow is the preferred way to hunt these dinosaurs, and requires 2 hits. Remember to sneak up and get in range before hunting. Spear can also be used, however this is much harder due to the reactions by these dinosaurs. The spear does 1 hit, so if you are sneaky enough to get close, then use this method. Finally, use the shield against the charging Stygimoloch, as this instantly kills them at the cost of your shield. After killing a dinosaur, use your axe on the carcass to get its meat. Collecting meat from large dinosaur carcasses is done in the same way, and they all yield 3 large meat. The main difference here is that you can't directly attack them, only other large dinosaurs can kill each other. Don't get too close to a battle unless you have a death wish. Wait for the victor to leave the site before you scavenge. Having a dinosaur mount requires you to heal a dead dinosaur rather than harvest it. Once healed, you can mount it and ride around, increasing your speed and changing your direction with the left mouse button, slowing down and jumping off with the right mouse button. Be aware, when you aren't on your mount, they tend to aggravate onto other players and dinosaurs, as well as just walk about. You can potentially cage your mount with help from a friend, however this is quite difficult. Remember, each mount requires certain expertise and 1 use of the healing herb. Gallimimus requires 25 expertise and the Stygimoloch requires 50. The larger dinosaurs include the Styracosaurus, who is passive and won't attack unless provoked, requiring 100 expertise to ride. The Ankylosaurus, who is territorial and will use its tail to attack, requiring 150 expertise to ride. Finally, the Carnotaurus, who is always aggressive and attacks on sight, requiring 200 expertise to ride. Whilst mounted, your dinosaur can attack other dinosaurs and players, provided you charge it at the enemy, save for the Gallimimus. Small tip is that you can use the Stygimoloch to charge large dinosaurs, requiring 4 to 5 charges. However, this is difficult and usually ends in death. If defending against a player using the Stygimoloch charge, equip a shield to bring it down. Finally, to evade dinosaurs, use trees and cliffs to disrupt their chase, and going prone to make them lose sight. Remember, always run from aggressive large dinosaurs. Finding your way around the Stomping Land can be quite difficult, especially when just spawning in. Currently the game does not have an in-game map, and without having played for a while it is quite hard to recognize landmarks. This map has been created by Reddit users and is a great representation of how Capa Island looks. Use this map as a reference for later use. One key thing to note is the red dots represent caves, which provide shrines and healing herbs. This is the westernmost cave of the island. By finding locations such as this, you are able to pinpoint your location on the map. If you're unable to find a landmark, then the best place to start is by using the sun as a navigation tool. In this game, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, just like in real life. By locating the sun in the sky, use it against the horizon to determine whether it is rising or setting. In this example, the sun is currently setting in the west. If you can't determine by the horizon which way the sun is going, use shadows to your advantage. Shadows are growing larger due to the sun setting. The opposite is true if the sun is rising, where the shadows grow smaller. This is how you get your compass directions. If done on the coastline, you are able to get an approximation of where you currently are on the map. In the current example, we are in the southwest corner of the island. At night, without the sun and shadows, the only real way to navigate is by landmarks and stars. Stars represent the large dinosaurs on the island, and are often heavily clustered in the center of the map in the open lands. The majority of stars are usually found towards the north end of the map, at least from my experience. Either wait until morning or use the coastline to find your way around. If you have friends online or are trying to find someone specifically, try describing where you are in relation to the stars. Look up and find stars close to you, whether it be a cluster or an outlying star. Then proceed to best explain to your friend how these stars look above you. This method is not foolproof. However, after some time playing and looking at the stars, it becomes easier to use and explain. Remember to use the stars to locate large dinosaurs. Multiples near each other or circling each other indicate a fight. You can use this during the day as long as the stars are visible. Once in the area, try and listen out for dinosaur roars, as this will help locate exactly where they are. That's it for my guide. I hope this helps and has explained thoroughly the mechanics within Stomping Land. Remember, this game is in early access. Only buy it if you're willing to support the game. Have fun, and I hope to see you in the Stomping Land.